Sci-Fi Radio.
This station is now the ultimate power in the universe.
We would be honored if you would join us.
Hello, everybody. It's another
Howdy.
Thursday night. Means another WDW94. Sean Obi-Shawn Crosby.
Jeff Solo Donoho.
Colleen Kaylee Crosby.
Thanks for tuning in on Sci-Fi Radio. That's what the robot says. Yeah, or you could be watching us on Facebook or on Twitch or on whatever. YouTube, I guess.
This is true.
Honestly, we're everywhere. We're just everywhere. There we go. Gosh, how's everybody's week been?
It's been rather busy, in a sense, but then maybe not so much. So, I don't know.
I don't know. It's been fighting tech support all week, so. Woohoo.
Tech support is the worst. I mean, honestly, it's pretty terrible. There we go. My camera's all tilted up for some reason.
It wants to show you the top of my head.
Yeah.
Probably because I got my hair cut. So, I have a wedding to do this weekend, and I thought I should at least get my hair tidy for that. They always cut it so short, though. It's weird. I give them a picture, and I'm like, I'd like to look like this. And then they go, okay, great. We'll make it look like that, but an inch shorter than in your pictures. And this has been going on for years. I can't get anybody to cut my hair the way I like it. And it just doesn't. So this was like a $50 haircut. Couldn't pull it off.
Oh,
I told
man.
Sean he should take a picture of the day he gets his haircut, what it looks like, and from several angles, and then take that to the haircutting place and say, I want this, but an inch longer.
Yeah. That sounds
Or
like a good idea.
wait
Jeez
until
Louise.
it grows to where you want it, and then take pictures all over and say, exactly like this, not shorter. This is a month after my last haircut.
Yeah, I might have to do that because it's just bad. Bad. And
That's a bummer.
I've been trying for years. There was one person who cut my hair exactly the way I wanted it. And unfortunately, it was somebody who gave me a haircut at the beach. It was like, this sort of farmers market-y kind of thing. They'll have some big volleyball tournament or something down there with a bunch of easy ups. And they were giving haircuts, and I got this great haircut. It's the only time in the last 20 years I can think of that I got my haircut the way I wanted it. So,
Oh, there goes. Yeah.
crazy.
Wow.
I see Laura and I see Alan, and that's about all I see so far. Oh, wait, no.
Diane
Diane's
Lindsay.
gone.
Diane
there.
Lindsay. Hi, Diane Lindsay.
We'll
Who
be
just heard about the new ride in Toontown.
we'll be talking about that. Toontown itself, though, isn't going to open for another 2 months. They're being a little tricky, but we'll have to see how it goes. Lisa's in, Lori's in. Hey, Lori.
Cool.
Yeah, it's been a week. It was Robert Burns' night. Robert Burns is the poet laureate of Scotland, and this was the 264th birthday for him, I guess. So we went to the Tam O'Shanter, and Scotch and Guinness
Tammed
and
their shanters.
meat were consumed. So that was pretty good.
Let me just make a correction. Diane, the Mickey's, what is it? Mickey's
Runaway Railway?
Runaway Railway, which is the new ride in Toontown, will be opening in the next
Tomorrow.
the next tomorrow.
Wow.
But the land that it is in
funny
will
thing,
not be opening until the beginning of
only one.
March. So there'll be a month when you can go on the ride. You just can't go to the rest of the land because
Right.
it's still being modified.
Yeah.
Right. What they are doing, so Disneyland closed at 8 o'clock last night, and at 8 o'clock tonight, because they're doing a 100th Disney celebration tomorrow, they're opening a new World of Color thing over at DCA. They're doing a bunch of stuff like that, and so it's very pressy over there right now. And and so they shut the parks early so that they could get everything ready for that and like shoot video and do that kind of stuff with an uncluttered park. That's made things kind of interesting. But I've got a bunch of friends on Facebook that have been riding Runaway Railway. They're cast members at Disneyland.
Well, Dawn's going tomorrow.
Nice.
Good luck, Dawn, with getting on that ride.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we talked to one at the park on Sunday. We talked to somebody who had ridden on it already as a cast member.
And I guess they lifted the embargo because people have been posting some pictures. I'm looking up my my friend Sage right now, and I'll show you her pictures real quick. And so as we mentioned on the show before, the one in Florida that's been open for a little while takes place at the Chinese Theater, and this one takes place at the El Capitan Theater in Toontown.
Yep.
And the El Capitan's their flagship theater in Hollywood. So it's kind of cool. It looks pretty spiffy inside. Definitely Toontowny. And yeah, they got like an awards case full of fake awards that Mickey and Minnie have won, and then costumes, lots of costumes on Mickey shaped mannequins, which are kind of cool. And then they have the snack counter here, and there's like Mickey's chocolate coins, which I think are a real thing, and then there's like sack of sugar at the bottom, which is not
sugar in the long line of Bago products.
Right, the Bago products.
Yeah, it's their sister company, Sacco.
Sacco,
Projects.
right? But disco Mickey stuff, which is kind of funny.
I think those snacks they should sell in the rest of the park.
Oh, I agree.
Yeah, Diane, they are keeping Roger Rabbit ride open when Toontown reopens.
Yeah, that's not going anywhere. And in a weird piece of meta, there's like a history of the theater with like the grand opening of the theater, even though it hasn't really opened to the public yet. They're faking it out.
Right.
So.
It's probably supposed to be in the 30s or something.
Yeah, and then they've got a whole bunch of fake movie posters everywhere.
Oh, that's fun.
So the Mouseketeer is pretty cool. Blasting off soon, and a lot of things that are based on real things, like the Feisty Ducks instead of the Mighty Ducks, and there was one that was the Parent Trap that I saw too. Anyway, so they the first people to ride the ride had to put their phones in a little envelope. They basically got a little sack, and they put the things in there because they didn't want anybody taking pictures. And then apparently yesterday they let people who went on the ride take pictures. So yeah, it's kind of neat. I'm looking forward to checking it out. I'm not looking forward to like 3-hour lines or anything, but I'm looking forward to seeing it.
Yeah, I don't. I look forward to lines on other rides being shorter because the line on this one is longer.
I would hope.
I definitely won't be doing the whole get there and stand there and try to get, desperately try to get on the ride the way we did with Rise.
Yeah. I mean, everyone. Yeah, those two rides probably will suck up a lot of people, hopefully. So, with any luck.
Well, and I remember when Cars Land opened up, and the the racers opened, and it was like a 3-hour line, and it was just awful. I don't want to do that. Colleen and I, however, we went to Disneyland kind of briefly
Yeah.
On Sunday.
on Sunday, and we spent a lot of time talking to cast members and things, and 501st members and that kind of thing, which I felt really bad about because we spent a lot of time talking to people, and then we walked past Rise of the Resistance, and the line was 20 minutes long.
25. That was
That's surprising. Wow.
I thought the sign said 20. I should have taken
25.
a picture
It
of
was
it.
25 because you were telling me, oh, the last time I was here, there was really short line time. It was 45 minutes. How could we pass that up? And I looked up and I said, it's 25 now.
It was pretty
Damn.
Yeah. So it may have taken us 20 minutes to go through the line.
We didn't run into the rest of the line until we almost got to the briefing room.
Yeah.
Wow,
It was-
that's pretty darn good. I'm
it
surprised.
was nuts, yeah.
Yeah.
And so all we can figure is that they had just restarted it after a breakdown. I couldn't imagine,
probably.
because when we got off the ride, it was 70 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh, go figure. Yeah.
Yeah. So
And I feel like the local who was standing next to the sign was a little tired of answering the question, is it really just 25 minutes?
right. It was pretty funny though.
Yeah. And somebody, Laura, wanted to point out that Sean wore a kilt when he went to John Burns' night.
Robert Burns' night?
Robert Burns' night.
I did. I
It's
suppose
his brother John.
I could go find a picture of me in the kilt. Let's see here. It was, John had wanted to go for a really long time. Our friend Michael, that we do things with, like Lux Theater and stuff like that, he didn't make it because he was on a business trip. And so there was an empty seat. Here we go. I knew I would find it somewhere. So John's like, well, why don't you come over and, we'll get you outfitted in a kilt. And I'm like, well, okay, that could be cool. So we did. We found some stuff that would work. And this was John and I in kilts. And...
My browser has encountered an error, so
not bad.
I
And
don't get to see it.
so yeah, it was pretty great. There is a Crosby tartan, which I don't have, and John of course wants to now get fancier kilt wear after encountering the historian who comes out and presents the haggis and reads or recites. Robert, he doesn't have to read it; he's got it memorized. He does a big presentation of it. Dr. Neil McLeod. John's like, okay, now I need fancier kilts. I need like the Prince Charlie coat and stuff. So
cool.
it's gonna get.
It's that dreaded, they'll suck you in.
Yeah, well, and so I went and I priced an entire wardrobe, and the place that I went to, and I'm sure I could probably get this down a bit, but the place I went to, it was about 1,250 pounds for a full, and it's like shoes and socks and sporran and kilt and jacket and waistcoat and shirt and tie and it was like the whole out the door kind of thing, from a place in Scotland. So it's not a cheap thing, but maybe someday we'll see. We'll figure it out. But anyway, we had a lot of fun.
Good gravy.
They kind of changed dinner up a bit, where usually we just go and we order off the menu, and I usually can kind of get out of there for about $50. It was $90 just for the seating, and it was like you could choose from a fixed menu, and it was $90 period. And then you had to pay tax, and you had to pay gratuity, and then whatever alcohol you drank on top of that. Expensive evening this year. So, yeah, it was a challenge.
Wow.
But
Good grief. Yeah, it's,
fun was had.
A little pricey.
Yeah, and that's I felt bad about asking anybody to come with me, and I'm like, but Kelly had approached us saying, hey, we should go to the Tamashanner for Robert Burns, and I'm like, well, if there's a spot, let's see if we get John in there. And so he went. He had fun. He knew some of the people there from Lux Theater, and that was pretty good. And yeah, it was a nice night. A little more sedate.
Now Kelly and I have to go to the Tam O'Shanter.
Right, exactly. I don't know that they have I mean, I guess you guys could have done your own Burns night thing, but they served goose, and they did a bunch of stuff that was kind of interesting. And they did not have my favorite thing to eat there, which is they have this warm brown bread that they make, and they said because of supply chain issues, they didn't have the ingredients to make the brown bread, which is weird. I'm like, what is special that you couldn't get your hands on?
Especially since we had brown bread like that in our house all week.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm like, I'm kind of scratching my head going, Rrr. But yeah, it was my favorite thing. And
Got me there, man.
They didn't have it. Come on.
Boo.
Yeah,
Good grief.
not too bad. What'd you do this week, Jeff?
Let's see. What am I doing? Let's see. There was a one of Rose's friends who is going to be moving to Nevada with her family, their family. Ren, we're celebrating Ren's birthday, so I went over to their house and had cake and food and played game. I played, what is that, the Jackbox game thing and stuff like that. That was fun. On the week, so I think it was this weekend actually. Yeah. I was I'm at home and like relaxing, I guess. And and Randy Zumia came to the door.
Oh, really?
And I was like, okay, hey, Randy.
Surprise.
Apparently he was at Target and he stopped off, and I posted about this on Facebook, but he was at Target or something, and he found this in the Pop, I think, makes it. It's a little Funko.
Oh, the little can things.
Yeah, a little can thing, and it was a little Vince Clortho, and I took him out, and here he is. If you can actually see him or not, I don't know.
Put him in front of your face. Oh, yeah, there we go. We can see him when you put him in front of your face. Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So he's like chibi, super deformed.
Yeah.
Which is
cute.
funny because all the Funko things are that way, and that's like a completely different product line from the regular Pop.
Yeah, it's not a
bobbleheads
bobble
they do.
or anything.
Yeah, kind of weird.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Let's see. Other than that, we did. Was it on Monday? On Monday, we played D&D again, so we're continuing that campaign.
Excellent.
Slowly but surely. Yeah. Aubrey joined in this time, so yeah, our group has grown by 2 since we started. And other than that, just doing whatever. I mean, today I was just got to the computer in time usually I get here like at 45 or 15 till 7 or at least or earlier, but I was helping with guinea pigs today, so second time of that, which
Guinea pigs.
Sparrow has 3 guinea pigs, Doom and Gloom that had for a while now, and the new one on Christmas is named Piglet, which is a hairless guinea pig. And this is like the second time I've helped out clean it up and stuff, because it's the hay or the guinea pigs or something that I'm fairly allergic to. So I had to face mask up and wear gloves and everything, or the little neoprene or what the hell they are, gloves. And so that was dandy.
That sounds like no fun.
Yeah, and then I scarfed food down and ran in. But yeah, in here.
Wow.
So yeah, it's been a journey for that, but that's about it for
yeah.
that, I think.
So, are we ready to move on to Star Wars or what?
Let me take.
Does anybody have anything else that was?
No, not really. I mean, mostly it was just admin stuff. We bought a microwave to replace our microwave. We took a risk on an auction
exciting.
site. Yeah, well, I had to bid for it, and so we got the microwave for about $50 instead of like 110 or 20 or whatever. And it seems to work. It heated water. I'm happy. Should probably like make some popcorn in it. Make sure it really doesn't.
Gotcha.
But yeah, I mean, beyond that, we're just sore.
There was
Yeah,
something
yeah.
that we did on Saturday that we shouldn't have, but we did.
What did we do on Saturday that I don't remember doing?
We binged an entire season of a TV show.
Oh yeah, right.
Oh,
Short
yeah,
season,
yeah.
great, thankfully.
I thought you meant like we went out, but yeah, we did.
We watched Only Murders in the Building.
Yum.
So good.
Oh, okay.
It was really good. We watched.
Everybody
Cool.
like turn off our show and go watch Only Murders in the Building.
Right. It's on Hulu. We have cheap Hulu.
Yeah, with
Where
commercials.
Oh, okay.
You watch commercials.
Yeah.
And it was great. We kept like, we should
Nice.
stop. Oh, we should stop. We should stop. And then we didn't stop. And so we stopped when we finished the entire season.
Yep.
Have you seen any of this season's Bad Batch yet?
Nope.
No.
We've been watching
Oh,
Only
gosh.
Murders in the Building.
Okay. Okay. Well, I won't spoil this, but the episode that just aired, I think you'll like a lot. So
Oh, okay.
The one that this week's is what I love this week's. It
Great.
reminded me of a certain film franchise, so you'll know exactly what I mean when you see it.
Okay.
Yeah, and I did watch The Willow. I obviously the series. I watched the series, but the behind the movie, whatever, or the behind the magic. That's it. Willow Behind the Magic.
And how was it?
Today, actually, it was good. It was funny because there's the whole thing where they're like, Warwick was so he was hard to work with. Blah blah. This whole thing they do about Warwick being some sort of a little prima donna sort of thing. It was great.
All right.
But it was funny and it had like a lot of aspects to it that I liked, because the series, there are parts of the series I didn't like, parts of the series I really liked, so it was like back and forth. But this makes you actually want to go see the series because of what they were showing, which I imagine is the point. But it was neat. It was nice to see how that all worked out.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, people both tell me to watch Willow and to not watch Willow. They're like, if you love Willow, do not watch this show. People are very, very, very opinionated
Polarized.
about
Yeah. It's one side or the other. It's much like everything else lately with the fandom.
We'll have to see
But
how it shakes out.
Yeah, we
I mean,
haven't. People are commenting about Only Murders in the Building in the Facebook feed.
Yeah.
Don't tell us what season 2 is because we've only seen season 1.
Yeah. Twitch, they were talking about it too. Of course, then there's Chris talking about Last of Us and everything, bringing all that up. I haven't watched that because I don't have that.
It's on a channel that we don't get. Yeah.
Exactly.
It's a problem. Everybody for years and years and years was like, oh, a la carte, buy the channel. I don't want to pay for all this other stuff that I want to watch. And now there are so many streaming services. Like Colleen and I saw an ad for an MGM streaming service.
Oh, geez.
Now it's down on the corner in our neighborhood, and we're like, great, another frickin' streaming service that's probably going to be, if it's the MGM catalog, it's going to be musicals and stuff like that. Although I thought Turner Broadcasting owned MGM.
I don't know.
And so I'll have to look and see who has it. So MGM Studios is down the street. It was MGM and Columbia and it is now Sony and Columbia.
Makes sense.
And I thought that all the MGM films were owned by Ted Turner's company.
You got me.
The owner
I
of
don't know.
MGM is Amazon,
Oh, that's
What the
interesting
heck?
because Amazon.
according to Wikipedia.
Well, maybe they bought it out from Turner.
We don't need it. Why don't they just stick them all on Amazon Prime then? What the hell?
Yeah, I don't know. Well, because if there's money to be, the problem is everybody looks at these movie things and they're like, "Oh, we have a niche thing that people will pay for," and then it really kind of turns out to not be the case. Where it's like, there was actually a really great service that I think we were paying for, or we
bought it as a gift.
we bought it as a gift, and it was classic films, and it was great. It was like art films and classic films, and you watched it on your computer.
Okay.
And it was just terrific. It was just terrific. So, yeah, total bummer that it's gotten so muddy.
Yes.
But
This is bizarre.
oh well, we'll see.
MGM Plus, which is the streaming service, was formerly known as Epix.
Oh, okay.
So it is the premium cable and satellite television network owned by MGM Plus Entertainment, which is a subsidiary of MGM, which is a subsidiary of Amazon's MGM Holdings.
Oh golly.
Yep.
Well,
Just a mess.
yeah. What? I sort of ceased to care about all these. Oh, a new channel, whatever. See ya.
I know.
Because I'm like, how much money are they going to be able to get out of us, really? Because like honestly, we only have so much money, and
Yeah.
I
Yeah, it's-
don't
it's-
see it in our speed round. So I'll bring it up here. Netflix is knuckling down on password sharing. And apparently they're going to keep track of the locations where the passwords are coming from. And if you are if your account is being used a certain distance from home, they're going to compound on you.
I hope that doesn't
Oh,
mean you
boy.
can't use your password when you're on vacation or something.
No, I think although you can't use it in certain countries, which is interesting.
Oh.
But I think that you're going to have to let Netflix know what devices you're using. And so
Oh, good
this is
grief.
my phone, this is my tablet, this is my television. And then if some other thing uses it, then they're going to get medieval on you. So,
Brother.
yeah, it's going to be very interesting.
All right, so
Star Wars.
Woohoo! Doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. First off, we have the birthdays. So January 24th, 1931 was when John Hollis was born. Also known as Lobot.
Lobot.
So pretty much what anyone will know him from. But if you saw things like Flash Gordon or Superman 1 and 2,
and specifically Flash Gordon, he was Clytus. He was the right hand of Ming, which was kind of impressive. And then he was like from the planet Krypton in the Superman movies. He turned up in a lot of pretty good stuff.
yeah, he was even Blofeld in For Your Eyes Only, but that says uncredited. But wow, it's pretty cool.
I think he was a stunt Blofeld.
Maybe
There's a thing, and I think it was For Your Eyes Only, where they dump Blofeld down a
down the
smokestack
thing?
or something.
Yeah.
I think that was him. I think they got him to be the stunt Blofeld.
Gotcha.
But-
But man, what a large number of very genre-oriented productions
Oh,
that he was on. Good
totally.
gravy, man.
So-
That's nuts.
So if you're like a sci-fi fan, he was in
Yeah.
Blake 7. He was in The Day of the Triffids, and you know, if you're English, he's like these are big deals. The Tomorrow People.
Yeah.
He was in The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes' Smarter Brother, which was pretty cool, and of course, Doctor Who.
Yes, of course.
Busy guy.
Of course.
What was his
of course he
first
did. My goodness.
role?
Yeah. So it's pretty cool. That's a pretty good body of work right there.
Right. And then he was in something called Bootsy and Snudge. Like, what the heck is that?
Wow.
Sounds like a bad
Yeah.
comedy team.
Yes.
Well, right on.
The Dirty Dozen. Anyway, so yeah.
He was in A Dirty Dozen?
Yeah. Yeah.
As what?
Oh man, I just closed it.
Sorry. I did too, and that's why I asked you.
Oh man. Yeah, man.
That's
Oh,
really
man.
funny.
Let me pull it up again. But yeah, I was just scrolling past. I'm like, Dirty Dozen. Wait, what?
He was a German porter at the chateau in an
Yeah.
uncredited role in 67. He was in Casino Royale in 1967.
Isn't that cool?
And The Saint. My gosh, he had a great career.
Yeah.
How fun. Because, you know, honestly, his role in The Empire Strikes Back kind of sucked. He
Yeah, he
looked
just
cool.
kinda-
He had like no
yeah.
dialogue. He just like pointed and stuff.
Yeah, I know.
That's really funny. Well, right on.
That's-
Good
yeah.
good for him.
Pretty awesome. Okay, and the next birthday is January 23rd, 1939 is when Tim Hildebrandt was born. And he was doing Star Wars posters and whatnot from back then, 70s. But
Well, and
not only that, but yeah.
So, wait, was he a twin? Yeah. Tim and Greg Hildebrandt were twins. That's interesting. I don't think I knew that. But
The brothers Hildebrandt.
there was one Star Wars poster that was inescapable during the 1970s. And it was one of the ones that we always sort of made fun of because honestly, while it was super dynamic and cool,
Yeah.
it was not the most accurate in terms of character likenesses.
Is that the one with like buff Luke and stuff?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's totally buff Luke. I'm looking it up right now. It's super buff Luke, totally
Yeah.
buff Leia, and it's but it was the one that you could get in shops right away, and it's the one that everybody copied.
Yeah.
And so let's see. I'm gonna try to open this one here. Yeah, this will do. So this poster, which was the one that you could get at like, you know, Kmart and stuff like that, featured like not Mark Hamill and not Carrie Fisher. And Carrie Fisher had like ridiculously long legs and, you know, everybody was like super ripped and muscular. But this was a poster that was everywhere. It was absolutely everywhere, which was absolutely fascinating. And then later on, they went back to the Hildebrandt brothers, who did a whole bunch more of like Topps trading cards and stuff like that. But the Hildebrandts like to paint from reference pictures.
Yeah.
And so when you look at their Star Wars trading cards and you look at like the Millennium Falcon and stuff like that, it's really obvious that they did it from the toy, from the Kenner toy of the Millennium Falcon, because all the inaccuracies that are in that toy Falcon are there in the card. So like the big giant cockpit that's like way too big for the rest of the ship and all this kind of stuff. It's really funny. But they were tremendous artists. They've done all sorts of fantasy art and things like that. Yeah, super, super cool. I didn't know they were twins. Wow.
Yeah. And it's like, I see some of the other artwork. It's like there's a lot of, book covers and stuff like that for even Lord of the Rings and such. It's just wow.
They did a
so
lot
cool.
of calendars.
Yeah.
They did Barbarella posters for Barbarella. All sorts of pretty great stuff.
Yeah, pretty awesome. Okay. Let's see here. We have easier ones actually with the regular Star Wars history. January 21st, 1978 is when Star Wars opened in Israel.
My name is Kit Tanth.
Waited a year.
Sorry, somebody posted a link in the chat that opened in my window.
Okay.
Linda posted a link to something, I don't know what, but it decided to open, and it was some weird game, not Game of Thrones, Hunger Games thing, which was very strange.
Okay, weird.
Sorry, that's what that weird sound was.
Okay. January 26th, 1978, Star Wars opened in Hong Kong. These are the three easy ones because the other histories I saw, it was like we'd done so many times. I'm like, let's just cover these things. They're easy.
Mm-hmm.
January 23rd, 1984, Return of the Jedi opens in Egypt. I'm like, wow. That's kind of cool. But yeah.
If you have a book called The Art of Star Wars, this is a book that came out in like 1978 or 9. It's credited to Carol Titleman, who was working for Lucasfilm and ILM at the time. In the back of the book are a whole bunch of selections of really interesting foreign release posters for Star Wars. And some of them, like the Russian posters and the Israeli posters, they're absolutely insane because they're like, they bear a passing resemblance to the Star Wars posters that we know, but in reality, they're like rows of stone stormtroopers with like this volcano, Darth Vader headed volcano. It's weird.
Awesome.
I wonder if I can find some of them.
Yeah.
Online.
I remember one of them saying something like, like guerrilla or something, but like guerrilla warfare spelling guerrilla, and stuff like something like that.
Well, what you might be thinking of is so when the posters did May the Force Be With You, it was in Spanish, and it was like La Guerra de los Galaxias or something like that. And for Star Wars, it was La Guerra de las Galaxias. And it was basically the same root word as guerrilla for guerrilla warfare. All right, I found something really quick. It's a Looper article, and we'll just kind of like scroll through these really quick because they fascinate me. And so some of them, I mean, honestly, this poster looks like Star Wars is a crappy band, and they're putting them up like around town going, hey, come see our crappy band. It's like this weird Xeroxed poster. This one.
Oh, yeah. Remember that.
Like, doesn't really look like the movie.
What the hell?
Right? I mean, it's this weirdo samurai-ish kind of thing.
It looks like you would punch something into the AI creator and, it pops up.
It looks like it's like one of the Slavic countries. It doesn't really say here, I don't think. Oh, Hungary. There we go.
Yeah.
So it's Hungary. This is another one from Hungary.
What is it, a dragon?
It's like crazy sand people on a weird ass
What
bantha.
the heck?
Super
Chewie.
weird.
What the world?
C-3PO has like extra eyes on top of his head, and it's not like they didn't have pictures of what everybody looked like, right?
Yeah.
It's just like they're like, yeah, we're just gonna do whatever.
So funny.
What's the video game character? Pyramid Head? Doesn't this look like Pyramid Head over here? I'm like, I don't understand what this is. This is Italy, where it's like full on comic book for Italy.
Oh yeah, totally. Yeah.
And like there's Leia who's like mostly undressed. It's like and Luke is in the wrong movie. Luke is in Logan's Run, apparently.
Yeah.
It's really kind of funny.
He kind of looks like a Ken doll.
Right. Poland, which really looks like THX instead of Star Wars. Like I have no idea what this is the relation to that.
I don't get it. What the heck?
This is The Empire Strikes Back for Hungary. They don't have the really crazy ones from Italy. Let me scroll through and see if we can find two of those. Poland and some of the other. This was Return of the Jedi. Some of the other posters from that area had like exploding Darth Vader helmets all the time, and there's more than one that makes you scratch your head, and you're like, why?
Yeah.
Why are they doing it? I mean, because some of these are just a crazy, crazy acid trip. That like what's the weird kaiju thing in the bottom left-hand corner of this poster? Doesn't even make any sense. That's not a Star Wars creature.
Oh, I know. It was like in the other one too. It was like, off to the side, like some weird dragon or something.
I don't even understand. There's like,
That is awesome.
like this one from Russia is like Cowboy Bebop. He's the guy's wearing a cowboy hat with clocks in it. I have no clue. But I love this because, like, if I had a Star Wars poster collection, this is what I would collect.
That is
Because
just something else.
it's brutal and
Whoa.
ugly and
It's
weird.
like Greedo and his weird family.
Right. And like I can only get, what is this supposed to be? The Emperor? I don't know what this dude is.
I mean,
it's Voldemort.
I guess.
It's like,
What?
yeah, it's really weird. Oh, here's one. This is one of the really good ones. This is from Russia. And it's like Darth Vader with sabers coming out of his head, but he looks like a puma or a panther or something. It's like, why
This
do
is
they
beautiful.
why do they do this to me? Anyway, I just kind of wanted to give you a bit.
Yeah.
Hello, let me
This
out.
was just something else. Yeah.
There we
That's
go.
awesome.
Let's do that. There we go.
All right, so are we moving on?
Yes, let us.
We want to talk about how the cast of Star Wars The Bad Batch finds their voice.
Well,
I haven't seen The Bad Batch, so I don't know how they find their voice.
well, you saw the first season of Bad Batch.
Right.
Well, they
This
don't
is-
do it by hiring me, which makes me sad.
Well, they do have D. Bradley Baker.
They
So
do. I know.
They're in this article. They're talking to D. Bradley Baker and Michelle Ang.
Yeah.
So, and they're just talking about how they get into their characters.
Yeah. So, I don't know if you came up there with me for this one, Jeff, to Lucasfilm. But we did an opening for the Clone Wars where D. Bradley Baker was there, and he basically voiced one of our clones. We had a guy dressed as Rex. He stood in front of the audience for this 3-episode premiere of like season 3 or 4 or 5 or whatever it was, and the clone trooper marched around and pantomimed and gesticulated wildly as D. Bradley Baker like gave this speech to like the, and it was great. And so since he's a clone trooper, you can't see his mouth move, so it was perfect. And the guy could just react to whatever D was saying, and it was super cool. It was really great, and it was really kind of fun to see him work too, because like he's not just like Captain Rex or whatever. He's every freaking clone. And that's just absolutely crazy. Where he like has to put a little bit of personality into each one. I mean, it helps that they all look differently.
Yeah.
But
I understand that.
now, I think I have a connection to D. Bradley Baker, because I think he took over a part that I used to do. And I'm looking at his credits here on IMDb, and he's got, because he's a voice actor, he has 658 credits. So I'm going down to the very bottom when he first got started, 1984. The first thing he did was a soldier in Nausicaa and Valley of the Wind.
Okay.
But I think
Perry.
and I'm looking here to see. I gotta do a search because it's just okay. So I worked for a company called Davidson and Associates, and while I was there, I was the voice of their lead character, Math Blaster, or Blaster Not is the character's name, and so I did all of their software as their lead character because I was in house. I was super cheap. Because they'd say, "Do you want to do this?" And I go, "Yeah." When I left the company, D. Bradley Baker came in and he took over that role that I had in like 1999. It's kind of really interesting. So that's my D. Bradley Baker connection. But oh my gosh, he's done so much crazy stuff that, like, looking at his top credits are the SpongeBob movie, Space Jam, American Dad, and Phineas and Ferb.
Yep.
And I want to know how this works. This is the most hysterical voiceover part in the world. I can't believe he gets credited every episode. He must make a stupid amount of money for nothing. But can you do Perry the Platypus, Jeff?
Can I do it?
Yeah.
I'm not sure how well, but I think they mess with it a little bit, in the
digitally
or something. Yeah. But it's like, it's just. Oh, Sarah.
That's close.
That.
Yeah, that's pretty close.
That's probably about as close as I can get.
The reason I ask you is I don't think I can do it, and it's because it's this sort of like growling kind of thing, but it also goes in that. It's like a couple of different things, and it's the only thing he says. He just has this kind of a deal.
Yeah.
And every episode he gets paid for that. And it never changes. It's always the same thing. It's not like he does different variations on it. It's like he did it once and that was it. And he just got money, free money for doing it. It's absolutely crazy. Anyway,
it's a hard one.
The article about kind of getting into the voice. Now we're all going to be trying to do that. That I can do it if I have spit in my mouth.
Well, that's attractive.
Right? Hey, man, whatever it takes. It just has to sound good on the mic. And D says that the trickiest part of voiceover is simply acting. It all gets down to acting well. I don't think he needed to act well for Perry the Platypus. But he's been so many Clone Troopers and Cody and Rex and
imagine you're teal and you're covered with fur.
Covered with fur is and you have a beaver tail and a duck bill.
Yep.
So that's pretty funny. Anyway, voice acting is absolutely my favorite thing to do, and I took a class today of sorts for a woman who is a casting director. And unfortunately, as had been my fear, her name was Amy Jo Berman. And my fear was that it was going to be sort of a timeshare pitch.
No.
Except in the acting realm. And that's kind of what it turned out to be. Basically, she's got this program that you can pay a $60 monthly fee to belong to.
$60 a month?
Yeah.
Doesn't she know that actors don't have money until they hit it big, and they're not going to take her class if they hit it big?
Yeah, and so the class was largely sort of a Tony Robbins kind of thing. And the advice she was giving you was like, just try harder, kind of, which was the deal. It was like, okay, you try something and it doesn't work, but figure out where you're running into friction and then smooth those out and keep trying the thing until it smooths out and it works for you. And it's like I didn't feel like I gained much out of it, but and I wish that she had turned the public chat back on at the end of her pitch, because basically she was going through like 100 people who all signed up to be part of this thing, and she was getting her information from the chat, but she didn't turn it back on, so you didn't know if they were really getting that many people, because we couldn't see that they were going, I signed up, kind of a deal. But anyway, I mean, it was kind of interesting, and she's got some credits under her belt if you look her up on IMDb, but yeah, $60 a month seems like an awful lot. They're like, oh, well, you can quit whenever you want. I'm like,
did you get the camera?
Right. It's
parents used to go to those things, and it's like certain people will get a 35 millimeter camera,
and certain people will be let out of the building in the alley.
Yeah.
Yeah. Usually they give you like a 3 or 4 night stay at some hotel somewhere like Vegas, but they get really mad if you don't sign up. If you fulfilled all the obligations of their pitch, but you still don't buy something from them, they get very mad and they give it to you very reluctantly. Of course. And you have to go through successively harder pitches where you're like, no, sorry, you just didn't sell me on it. Oh my gosh.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was weird. I felt it, and she's like, oh, it's only going to be about an hour. And of course it was about 2 hours, and it did nothing for my headache.
Oh my gosh, it was 2 hours?
Yes.
Wow. And it ended before my call started, or it kept going?
Oh, it went through
for the first hour of my call.
It went through the first hour of your call.
Wow.
And then I actually ducked out a few minutes early. I'm like, hey, great presentation, I gotta go. In the chat, and then I shut everything down because I was pretty sure I wasn't going to sign up for it.
Yeah.
I'm having a hard enough time making the decision to spend $75 to get the Backstage periodical for a year. I got to pay $60 for, per month for this, because she was like a casting director, but she's not. You're getting access to her experience, but not her help, if that makes any sense. So anyway, interesting stuff. But there are a lot of actors I know who are doing this kind of thing and like doing classes and stuff, because apparently that's really where the money is to be made, is in doing that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it took a couple hours out of my day and just broke my head. My head hurts so bad at the end of the thing. It's a total bummer.
Well, I went into my meeting, which was an hour into Sean's thing, telling my the other people in the meeting that I had taken chocolate cake with aspirin before the meeting.
Well, you have to cushion that. So like they gave me some ibuprofen for my back hurting. Yeah. And they're like, you have to take this with food. And so, I mean, taking that with cake, I think, is perfectly acceptable.
Yeah. I mean, I have to eat something whenever I take Advil, clone, or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, so moving right along to theme parks. The new Disney 100 banners list the wrong opening year for, I think it's the Matterhorn.
Yeah, I think it said 1959.
Matterhorn bobsled's 1955.
Yeah, it should be 59.
Yeah.
But
but
I don't think that it was still up by the time we went. When did we go?
Well, I don't know, because I think they were all along the tram route. I think that's where those banners are.
Right, but I didn't see that. I was reading them as we got into the park.
Yeah.
No, this one is when you get to the tram where it drops off.
Yeah.
So we wouldn't actually have seen it because our tram dropped off at the very back of that.
Hmm.
And once you get dropped off in the tram, I'm always like so focused on not getting trampled by people.
Right.
That's where my awareness stays.
Now, many people were taking those banners and tweaking them in Photoshop for different milestones that weren't being celebrated, like Bob Chapek's firing and the Toontown Brawl that happened a couple years ago when the family was fighting in Toontown. Some of those were hysterical. And I think somebody took the Matterhorn one, and I think they put a picture of Imagineer Bob Gurr at the bottom of it, pointing at it, going, "Ooh!" Which was really funny too. I gotta say, I'm not super impressed with the
Disney 100 celebration?
with the decorations, and I'm gonna show you some of these here. I took some pictures. Kit and I walked around yesterday quite a bit because she was there waiting for her brother, and I didn't realize that Disneyland closed at 8 for these special events that they were doing. And so I only kind of spent like a half hour in there kind of running around looking at the stuff that they did. If you leave the parking structure and you take the footpath to downtown Disney where the Star Wars outpost is, then you see this at the corner of the ESPN building, which is like this big Mickey Mouse statue. But you can't quite get close enough to take pictures with it. They've got like a thing to, they got a thing to block it off, which is kind of weird. And then these things are everywhere. They have these gigantic, like, I don't know how big.
Coins.
They're coins, but they're like 7 or 8 feet in diameter. They're very large. And they all seem to be slightly different. Like this one had a really heavy-duty texture on it. And then one of the other ones later on looked a lot smoother than that. So I don't know if it's like a manufacturing defect, if it's intentional. But yeah, these things, this is the back of it. This is where wonder comes to life. And they've driven poles into the ground, and they've got anchor cables holding the thing up from the back. This one is over by the water fountain where the tram lets off. There's a big flower fountain that shoots water up.
That's got a creepy almost face in that first 0 in the 100.
Yeah, and they're all slight. The textures are all slightly off from each other, even though the details are all the same. And they're lit differently too. Like this one being lit very, very severely from below makes it mildly sinister. They put a big one at the entrance to DCA, and they put smaller ones across the bottom, and it's okay. They took a different tack with Disneyland, where Disneyland gets these shields, and so every entrance has these shields with the flags and the little sparkle stars and things.
Yeah. The
And
one that was over the DCA one looked incredibly reflective, and I think that's what you're seeing. That looks like a face. It was like actually someone in a suit, or not a suit, but a certain clothing.
no, I don't
in the
think
first
so.
row.
This?
And the second, yeah,
No.
the second one it was like 3 people. If you look at
That
it.
one?
Yeah, see the first one. There's a guy who's a collar. It looks like he's got a bandana, but I don't
I
think
see
so.
that, but
there's-
I'm not
there's a
sure
belt
that it's
and
actually a
shirt.
reflection. I think it's
Yeah.
just a pareidolia.
You think it's okay? It could be. Yeah, the second one just looks like 3 characters led by like I don't know.
Right, it looks like a giant rabbit and 2 darker, smaller
So, yeah.
things.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
think that's really
Weird,
the
huh?
case. It's not as reflective as you think it is.
Yeah.
But
So
and
I
I'll
see a guy with a collar. And
I'll
stuff.
do another picture. I have another picture of it a little later on. Anyway, I kind of like the shields. They're kind of interesting. I do wish that they've got them lit with yellow from below, which gives a little bit of a gold tinge, which makes me wish they had done the figures and the letters in gold, because the silver is really kind of bland to me, and they really doubled down on the silver.
I feel like the costumes of the characters,
Mm-hmm.
the Minnie, Mickey, Goofy, Donald
Right, the
characters.
Fab Five.
They have they're silver with purple accents, and I really feel like they should have been purple with silver accents because the silver just looks flat and boring.
Right. In the main courtyard between the two parks, they have banners that mention Disney 100 and then have various characters on them.
I like the monorail.
And the monorail's neat because they did
very
it
shiny.
in holographic wrap. So they wrapped it in holographic vinyl, which is very popular with Tesla owners. A lot of Tesla people doing it. And so it's got like Chip and Dale up here at the front, and then the back of the card has like a huge collection of characters back there.
It's top of the hour.
Okay.
Kind of interesting. Well, then I should remind everybody that you are listening to Docking Bay 94 on sci-fi.radio. Sci-fi for your Wi-Fi. If you were watching us on video, you were doing it on Facebook or Twitch or YouTube. Any of those things is acceptable. I'm Sean Obi-Shawn Crosby.
It's Jeff Donoho.
I'm calling Kaylee Crosby.
And thanks for being here,
Eric mentions that the Matterhorn banner is not the only one to have errors, that a lot of the banners...
I thought Snow White did
says
too.
the banners have a lot of mistakes. So I'm assuming that means that lots of the banners have errors.
The castle's looking pretty good. They took all the snow off of it because winter's over.
Yeah.
And they've
Strangely enough.
added some sparkly stars and things up there, and they've new banners. The banners are all white with some details on it, and these fountains are new. So the fountains light up white, and there are colored lights that sort of rotate and come on and off around them to sort of make them a little more sparkly, magical, something like that. This was probably about 5:45 at night, so the sun hasn't quite gone completely down yet, and so this was sort of twilight. And you can kind of see they put some stars up on the spires. They've got the big swag thing over the drawbridge entrance, the portcullis, and it's okay, but it didn't really pop for me. And the banners there's a little bit of purple, but they're largely white. The ones hanging off the towers are pretty white. Didn't do anything to the partners statue. They kind of left that alone.
Is the little star, has that always been there above the main
No, I think that's
Pico
new.
roof? Or is that new?
No, that's new. I
It
think
looks
it's
like it's for the
it's just for
celebration.
this. Yeah,
Okay. So I was like, what?
yeah. I think it's new. Yeah, and I can go through other pictures I've taken in the past. I'm pretty sure that's not there because I don't
Yeah,
remember
I
it
can
being
look
there.
I can see on my phone on the old ones I took.
Yeah.
Probably there too.
Here, going this way. So this is Main Street. So where the Christmas tree usually sits is a statue of Mickey, and it's
okay.
it's about your height, Jeff.
Oh.
It's about as tall as you.
Wow.
It's pretty small. These are the banners that they've got all down Main Street with the shields and on the lampposts, and kind of holographic lame running down them, which is kind of cool. But the Mickey statue was really small. The Haunted Mansion display in the Great Moments with Mr. Lincoln Opera House has finally been removed. They have this Disney 100 thing that they're putting in their attraction to film to attraction, whatever. And of course, it was not open for me to go in.
Man.
No, you can't be there, which was funny. Actually, what you can't see is that in the lower left-hand corner of this picture, there Minnie Mouse is over there taking pictures with people. It's really funny. So she was just kind of like lurking there the whole night. This was that same one again. It's not as shiny as you think it is. The coin.
And I see different people in this one.
Yeah.
Definitely pareidolia.
And none of them are me. You would think you would see me reflected in it.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
nope.
No, I don't think it's a reflection. I just think it's that humans imagine faces in everything they
Okay.
look at.
Yeah. At the hotel, they're carrying this over there too. I mean, you know, if you do any serious wandering around, the whole coin thing gets old really fast. And you're like, okay, I saw one. Why are you showing more? They did do this kind of cool thing when you walk in, which is a thing about the Alice comedies that Walt did.
Yeah.
And so there's a life-size cutout of Walt and of Alice and the cartoon characters and stuff, and that's kind of neat. And it takes up the entire wall, floor to ceiling. It's absolutely huge. Kit pointed out as we wandered around the hotel that they had replaced all the carpets. And so the carpets are now more flashy hotel carpets. And this is is the runway from valet getting into the hotel. And it's, you know, it's this big, crazy, long carpet, and it's all sort of, you know, sparkly and magical.
Oh, no.
So you always complain about the Santa Ana winds, Jeff?
Yeah.
The Santa Ana winds had the flags completely horizontal. It was so windy while we were there. It was just impossible absolutely crazy. You can see how those flags are tugging on their cables. The whole night was like fighting the wind. And when you got into Disneyland, it came like over the castle and just knocked you back toward the entrance. It was absolutely crazy wind.
The problem, the reason I don't really care too much for them, other than the fact that we have the nice cold winter weather, it kind of, we lose it for like a week. But it's what it does to my sinuses. I just have like, I'm in pain like every day from like inflamed sinuses from whatever's blowing around in the wind and whatnot. So
I've got all like
Sucks.
my eyes are all puffy and swollen, and I relate to that.
Anyway, so that's kind of an overview. Kit said that I missed a similar statue to Mickey. There's one for Minnie, kind of more over towards Tomorrowland / Fantasyland. I did not catch that because I didn't go over there. If you go into the world of Disney, there's also a lot, and the Emporium at Disneyland, there's a lot of Disney 100 merchandise. They have big displays in the world of Disney where there's like an island with Mickey and Minnie in the silver motif that they're doing. And then all of the merchandise, and we talked about this when they first announced it a couple months back, the merchandise is really weird because they'll have like a Loungefly backpack that's completely silver, and then they'll have ears on top of it that have the dripping silver down the top of it.
yeah,
And it's just like so much silver as to be bland. And you're like, they needed more black and silver. They needed to do the classy New Year's Eve thing with silver and black and mix that up and do it. And I feel like things are just super unimaginative with this whole release. And I feel like they really could have done better. So, I don't know. It remains to be seen. I've seen some nice cast member stuff, some jackets and things that they released for the 100th that looked pretty good. The stuff for the general public is less interesting than the cast member stuff. I think the cast members sort of got the better end of the deal.
okay.
And so we'll see. And it also feels weird that they're celebrating the 100th anniversary of the company like at the theme park. That's like sort of a weird way to do it to me. It's almost like a cheat, like, because Disney just had its 75th anniversary, and now we're doing this 100th anniversary thing. Or
Yeah, I think they're just looking for something to hang, selling more stuff.
yeah, I'm sure, but I remain unimpressed. So
Right. Disneyland is going to have a live opening of Disney's 100-year celebration on Friday at 2 p.m.
yeah, so that's tomorrow, the
and
27th.
That'll be a live stream, 2 p.m. Pacific time.
Right, and 5 p.m. Eastern time.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's that could be fun. We'll see what they do. I'm sure they'll cut something with scissors.
Yeah.
Great.
I don't know what this headline is. Hang on a second. Star Wars is featured in Disneyland World of Color details on a new show that debuts on Friday.
It's at DCA, and so it's their World of Color water show that has projection screens and stuff, and so that new show, I think it had a press thing tonight or yesterday, and they're doing
a lot of projections on the water, which are kind of cool because they've got the ships. They've got 3 banks of water that are shooting up, and they've got ships that are flying around back and forth between those 3 banks of water.
Yeah, and it's they shut it down every once in a while and they refurbish it. I think their screen technology has gotten better. If you've seen Fantasmic, it's the same kind of thing where they do a wall of water and then they project images on it. They're also currently running a new show, which I saw, which is for the Chinese New Year, the Lunar New Year. And that's kind of a fun thing. And it actually gave me the opportunity to see how the really recent shows interact with the Magic Band, which they just incorporated into the Disneyland Resort. And so, but it's also kind of a bummer. So World of Color, they used to sell ears that would light up. And basically, the show would communicate with the ears, and whatever the prevailing color with the lighting would be, your ears would do that, and it would switch and dance and do whatever.
Yeah.
Doing it on your Magic Band, though, is like if you're cold and you stick your hands in your pockets, you now cannot see your Magic Band doing its little disco number. It's kind of cool, but it's not as cool as like the ears. Because you would see a sea of these ears like light up and do stuff. That was very cool. So it's interesting. It's not, in my mind, it's not really a selling point for the Magic Band. It's like, but it interacts with World of Color. I actually found it kind of
irritating because you'll be walking somewhere where you're not even necessarily close to what you're seeing, and all of a sudden your Magic Band starts vibrating. And it's sort of irritating.
Right, and it'll be a thing that goes, the fireworks are happening now. And then it doesn't do anything for, it just like turns yellow and goes. This at least, if all of the lights around you go red, it goes red. And if they turn blue, they turn blue. And if they're doing multicolor, it'll dance across the face of it. But it's... it's not like you're going to stare at your wrist, and it's not like you're holding your hand up over your head like a rock concert.
Do they still do that with the ears?
No, they don't sell the ears anymore.
Oh, that's too bad, because the ears are, like, you can see it on everybody.
Yeah.
So everybody gets to enjoy that.
I'm sure if you have them, they probably still work. But it was disappointing that they don't seem to have that anymore.
So Disneyland is taking part in 2 food celebrations that are currently happening or coming up. The first one is currently happening is the Lunar New Year food. And I don't know, did we talk about Lunar New Year food already? I don't think we did.
I thought we talked about some of it, or we talked about...
a little bit of it.
I think what we really talked about was like the 100th.
So I just wanted to touch on one thing. So the Lunar New Year food that they're talking about in this Disney Parks article is food from Hong Kong, Shanghai, and California. So number one, it's interesting that Florida's not getting any of these special items, but California is. And the other thing is that if you scroll down to the second picture, you'll see how delightfully cute some of the items that they have in Hong Kong are.
Wow.
Like they look at that. I don't know if that's a red panda.
All of this is going to be gone when we go too.
We're not going to Hong Kong.
Oh, you're right, Hong Kong. Sorry, I'm thinking of Tokyo. Whoops.
Right. So, so the food is just super cute, and then you scroll down one more, and you've got even more cute food. They've got like the little bunny face and the drink, and just everything is so cute looking.
One of the things that was really interesting about going over to where their Lunar New Year celebration is set up at DCA, Oswald is the face of the Year of the Rabbit, but some of the other Asian countries like Korea are celebrating the Year of the Cat. And so there's a little cat character that I don't know.
Oh.
I don't know where she's from. I'm sure she's from an early Disney cartoon, like one of the Symphony cartoons or something. But I'm going to have to look up and see where she's from, because she's sort of equally cute to Minnie, but she's a cat. And so they're doing dual duty there with that to make sure that they haven't left anyone out. And that's a change, I think, from the way they've done it in the past. It's kind of an interesting thing.
And you keep scrolling down and you see that at their Disneyland hotel, in the restaurant Crystal Lotus, they've got food that is both complete meals and also still adorable. And scrolling down more, you get to Shanghai, and they also have these just really cute Year of the Rabbit things. And even
the fish with the head on it is a little weird.
Right, it's not adorable, but look at the little mice, and and then the little
there's a little sort
that
of
is a puppy or something.
It looks like a puppy, sort of like a lady cocker spaniel kind of thing. It's very cute.
But then you get down to the American stuff at the Disneyland Resort.
Oh, we get hosed, man. We get hosed all the time.
A pretzel with bits of hot dogs baked into it, and a beer. It is not cute and kind of gross.
Right.
There are 3 little mandarin oranges, which are kind of cute, but nowhere near the level of
what
cuteness.
is this, like a pretzel with hot dogs shoved in it?
Yeah, that's what I just said. It's a pretzel with hot
God.
dogs shoved in it.
Ugh. No.
Yeah.
No.
And all the stuff that's in Disneyland, there's the only thing that I think I saw that was cute was there are mandarin mousse cake, layers of mandarin mousse with vanilla cake and clementine compote, finished with white chocolate crunch balls and a tangerine glaze.
Wow.
Those are cute.
That's cute.
But there's tons of alcohol. Like there's almost more alcohol than there are food choices. And there's nothing else that's adorable in the way that the Asian parks have.
Yeah, seriously. I mean, they've captured Asian, but they didn't get the whole, chibi cute thing going on.
And the coffee bundt cake looks like somebody took an individual bundt cake and just squirted something gross on it.
Well, that goes with like the 100th thing. I don't think I've reached the bundt cake yet.
No, you haven't. It's a little bit farther down.
It's a tin of something. I don't know what it is.
There are a couple of things that I'd try, and there is actually one cute item that is one of the cookies at the...
Oh, yeah, there's the bundt cake. Ew.
Yeah, one of the cookies at the cart inside the Grand Californian has a cute little rabbit character. But, yeah, other than that, nothing outstanding. In the adorable way that the Asian places have. And then moving on to the Black History Month food, which is available in Florida and California. Oddly, they start with Disneyland Resort. I kind of feel like, maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like lately it's always been starting with Disney World, and Disneyland is kind of tacked on at the end.
Yeah.
There are a couple of peach or apricot flavored desserts that look intriguing, and a barbecue plate that they've got, one at the River Belle Terrace and one at Troubadour Tavern, which oddly the items at Troubadour Tavern, which is where you can see the Lion King in Disneyland, they're only available 2 days, February 18th and February 25th.
Seriously?
So I don't know what that is about. But the Fantasyland popcorn cart at Troubadour Tavern has a Simba popcorn bucket, which is super cute. So scroll down to that if you're able to.
Okay, that's really funny.
It is Simba being held up by
Rafiki.
Rafiki.
It turns you into Rafiki, basically. That's really very funny.
Yeah.
All right, that's cute.
But there's nothing else that like looks amazing for California. And then the thing that I wanted to point out, other than the sweet potato Pop-Tart, which looks like something I would totally go for.
Wait, what? Where was that?
Disney World.
Oh.
You keep scrolling. Disney World
scrolling.
has the sweet potato. You're going the wrong way.
I'm going back.
Oh,
You have
okay.
a delay.
The thing that I wanted to point out to Sean is that at the Jungle Cruise Navigation Company Limited Skipper Canteen, they have a kungaloosh dessert.
Do they?
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
It is.
If you don't know, kungaloosh is the salute that was given for the Adventurers Club on Pleasure Island back in the day.
And there are a couple of
Okay.
hidden things around the decor of the Skipper's Canteen that pay homage to that. This is an African-inspired chocolate cake with caramelized bananas and cashew caramel ice cream topped with coffee dust. And I feel like we would be getting this if we were available to go to the Magic Kingdom.
Some of these look good, and some of these look really disgusting.
Yeah.
There's some things in here I do not want. And so,
Like the collard greens with smoked bacon?
yeah, that's not gonna happen. I would try, however, the pineapple mint julep.
Oh, that does sound good.
I would do that.
I would try the jollof rice with plant-based sausage because last year maybe they when everybody was doing the Wordle breakouts, you just passed the kungaloosh. It's a little pyramid-shaped chocolate cake with ice cream on it.
Oh, I see. Okay. Funny.
What was I saying? Wordle. Oh, I was doing one that was, I can't remember the name of it, but it was geographically based, where you would have to guess what country the program was thinking of.
Oh, yeah, I
basically.
remember that one. That was a really interesting game.
And so what I was doing was I would guess the country, and then when I finally guessed the country, I would go on Wikipedia and look up just what's one fact about this country that I didn't know before. But it was a particularly hard game to play, especially with tiny little countries that are located in
Oh my gosh, yeah.
the Pacific Islands, or like near Cuba and things like that.
Gotcha.
And so I stopped doing that. But one of the items that I looked at was jollof.
Oh yeah.
And so I would try that.
They have a lot of alcohol going on here.
Oh yeah.
I think the game was called Global, Globle.
Oh yes, it was.
And it was like super cool, but it was very much like doing the bounty hunter stuff at Galaxy's Edge, where it like the color changes the closer you get to the country, geographically. It was like kind of weird. Yeah, I mean, some of this looks good. And some
So
of it-
Eric said
Okay.
that he believes that the girl cat is Oswald's girlfriend, and so I looked up Oswald the Lucky Rabbit, or Oswald Rabbit girlfriend, and her name is Hortensia,
Okay,
and she is in fact Oswald's girlfriend.
nice.
Yay.
Well, that's kind of nice that they can pair them off like that.
She is an anthropomorphic cat.
Anthropomorphic?
I have no idea what that means. It must be a typo.
I think it's a typo. My God.
Yeah, I think it's supposed to be
I'm still
It's not
scrolling
Felix.
through this
Oh my gosh.
stuff. There's so much food.
Well, I mean, they've got items in like every single restaurant and food
Yeah.
cart in Disney World. And so that's a lot of places.
Crazy, man.
Oh, actually, I think Oswald and Hortensia are married.
Oh, wow.
or unmarried, but they do have numerous offspring called the bunny children.
Oh, okay.
Bunny children. Okay.
They roam throughout the cartoon wasteland, having nowhere else to go after their father was defeated by the Blot in Blot Wars.
Okay.
Okay, this sounds like video game stuff to me.
Probably.
Because I thought the Blot Wars was the game for the Wii that Mickey was in.
The bunny children are neutral. There's an advertisement blocking what I'm reading. Are neutral toon characters in Epic Mickey.
Yes, that was the game, was Epic
okay.
Mickey. So,
Okay. Moving right along, we come to Epcot has new parking lot names in Florida. Whoops. Clicked on the wrong thing.
Doe.
So I can't tell you what the parking lot names are. Wally, Eva, Rocket, Gamora, Moana, Hi Hi, Crush, and Dory.
Interesting.
I would like to park
Cool.
in Hi Hi.
Hey, hey. That's
Hey,
the
hey.
chicken, right?
Yeah, it's the
Yeah.
chicken.
Hey, hey.
Yeah.
I am just crap at pronouncing anything.
That's okay. Cute, pretty cute signs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here, I'll show you guys the signs real quick. They're
Really?
they're
Like Shag?
they remind me of convention badges.
Okay.
They do look like convention badges.
They've got that kind of look to them.
And does it look kind of like Shag or something to you? Is
Um,
that his name?
No, yeah, yes, not exactly like Shag,
Vaguely.
but because they are made of blocks of color without detail, they do
Yeah.
have a similar look to that.
Gotcha.
Shag is very specifically like a mid-century modern kind of look to it. These are super streamlined, and don't quite have that cool look that Shag's got. But they're pretty fun,
Oh.
and they're all done very simplistically. So that's pretty cool.
Continuing with Florida, we go into the Magic Kingdom and we see that a test seat backdrop has been installed near Tron Lightcycle Run entrance. So there's a backdrop and you can sit in one of the light cycles to do a
Yeah.
photo op.
And to, I think, make sure you will be comfortable in the ride.
Yeah.
When Jeff and I went to Universal in Florida, and we were going to go on Harry Potter and the Forbidden Journey,
Yeah.
they had the seats that you had to sit in, which were very much like a block of 4 seats from Soarin' Over California. And if you couldn't fit comfortably in the seat or it wigged you out, you knew you shouldn't go on the ride. And I think this is the same kind of thing because there's a back thing that comes down and it cups you into the motorcycle. It's decorated with a fake disc and it looks like Tron sort of armor. But basically, it's the safety bar that keeps you into the ride. So you hunch over it like you're riding a motorcycle. This thing comes down over top of you and sandwiches you into the motorcycle. And if you can't handle that, if you're uncomfortable doing that, it is not the ride for you.
I'm not sure that on the test ones that you can
interesting.
actually bring that down, though.
I don't know either.
So
I
it's
would
basically.
I would think that it would be, they should make it that way, that it would be like spring loaded so that you can check it. Because honestly, like I remember it being a huge deal with the Harry Potter ride. It was very important that you be comfortable.
What this look reminds me completely of is a ride that's at Knott's right now. So I think it's a regular kind of car that they redesigned, but Knott's is called Pony Express,
Mm-hmm.
and it's the same thing. You're on something that looks like they've made it look like a horse, but there's a part that goes over your back like that and holds you in, and place where your legs to go and everything.
Well,
Yeah.
it does say it's a test seat, so maybe it does come down to show
Can't
you
seem
that.
to zoom in on it.
The Tron ride will be opening on April 4th.
Yeah, I'm very much looking forward to it. I really wish it's something that they would put here in California. I think that would be pretty amazing. Here's a closer look at the bikes, and it looks pretty cool. I'd like to think that I can sit comfortably in that thing, and of course they've been doing it at Shanghai Disneyland has had this thing running, so.
So also in Magic Kingdom, we recently had the last day to ride Splash Mountain, which was January 22nd.
That, I think I was there the day before that. I know a lot of people who were going on Splash Mountain, but the problem was...
Wait, but this is Walt Disney World.
Oh, Walt Disney World.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
Disneyland's isn't closing yet, is it?
Yes. Disneyland's closed last weekend.
Oh.
And so, it closed on the 21st, I think. And so, people... so I was there Friday, and I was there with Alan and his friend, and they both rode it and regretted it because they got so soaked, and they were just wet all day. And then the next day, Saturday, I think it was closed. Or it was closing that day. And so, of course, a lot of, we'll call them enterprising people, supposedly scooped up water from the ride, and they're selling it on eBay like a bunch of idiots. As if the water is going to be any different when they reopen the ride, right? But so they closed it at Disneyland. What date does it say it's closing in Florida?
It closed.
Oh, it closed.
On the 22nd.
Oh, so they must have closed them both on the same day.
Kit says ours is still open, actually.
Yeah, I don't see anything on the news about Splash Mountain and Disneyland being closed, just Disney World.
All right. Well, I didn't go past it my last visit, but they told me that it was closing on Saturday. So got me.
There is a rumor from yesterday on Walt Disney World News Today. So again, this is a rumor.
Mm-hmm.
Splash Mountain at Disneyland to close permanently in May of 2023.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Well, that's weird. I must have encountered some confused cast members. I did that yesterday too. People who didn't know when it was closing. The park was closing. I'm like,
Well, it was funny because yesterday my app alerted me that this is weird because I make the reservations for Sean, and I made a reservation for him for Disneyland, and I got an alert through the app that said DCA is closing at 8 o'clock tonight, so be warned, but you can go over to Disneyland. And so I sent a quick note to Sean, and he's like, fine. And it said nothing about Disneyland closing, and then he had to leave because Disneyland closed.
yeah.
So that was really a bizarre thing about the app.
Definitely strange.
We have we have two more things about Florida. The first thing is that on March 23rd, there will be a new barbecue restaurant opening in Disney World. It will be opening in Disney's Hollywood Studios on March 23rd, 2023. And it's fancier than the barbecue that we used to have at in California, in Disneyland, by the ranch that was behind Frontierland. But it looks like it has fairly standardish barbecue items. So if you're a fan of barbecue, be sure to check that out. Oh, and they have Mr. Forky cupcakes. That's kind of cute. They're calling it Cupcake a la Forky. Whatever.
Oh, okay.
And they serve their drinks in mason jars, so you know it's ye old westy
Right.
for that reason. And the, I don't know, kind of trick thing that Disney did was they sent out, I think it was an email that said, discounts on Galactic Star Cruiser. It's not technically true. What they're actually having is if you get your Galactic Star Cruiser vacation, which is like a 2-night adventure in a hotel there, they will give you a discount on rooms at another Disney hotel if you stay for 2 nights. So
I saw that,
it's technically there's a discount, and they have all this fine print that says that that you can't, if you cancel the Galactic Star Cruiser, you lose your discount at the other hotel. Now, what's interesting is this article, sfgate.com, the headline is, barely open a year, Disney's $5,000 Star Wars hotel forced to slash prices. I disagree.
I mean, it's not. It's not because people aren't going that I'm aware of. Because I know so many people who are going. Oh my god!
The discounts that I saw didn't have anything to do with cutting actual discounts at the Star Cruiser. It was, if you got the Star Cruiser, we'll give you a discount on something else.
Right.
This is saying that they've slashed the prices from $5,000 a stay. And they're saying it has consistently struggled to sell out.
Well, Disney doesn't release those numbers, so how do we know? And it's only got 100 rooms. It's not a huge hotel.
And it says they were giving discounts of up to 30% to Disney Vacation Club members.
That makes sense.
Makes sense.
Because I mean, that's their timeshare program. So, I mean, of course,
see, and
they're going to do that.
They in this article they say Disney also announced it's offering first ever Galactic Star Cruiser discount to non-Vacation Club members. Guests with a reservation for the Star Cruiser can get a discount up to $700. That's over 2 nights. And the $700 is only if you stay at one of their top level hotels. So like if you're staying at the Grand Floridian, for 2 nights, you can get up to a $700 discount on the Grand Floridian.
Yeah.
That $350 a night. I see. Beach Club, Grand Floridian, or Yacht Club. So I don't agree with their headline. They are being sensationalist.
Well, and there are other things that, like, somebody was going, oh my god, they're not moving enough merchandise, so they're putting all their lightsabers on sale. And but they also are doing it in like downtown Disney and Disney Springs and Galaxy's Edge and that kind of thing. They've got a select number of lightsabers that they are putting on sale. Although the cast members were pretty confused about that because you and I went, I thought, and looked at those, didn't we? When we were there on Sunday.
What did we go look at?
We went and looked at lightsabers to see which ones were 30% off.
Oh, yeah. And they said it was those 3 in the case.
Right. There were 6 in the case. And they said, hey, the price is already discounted on the tag. And then I talked to somebody yesterday and she's like, do you have any questions? And I'm like, the only ones on sale are the ones in the case. And this was in downtown Disney. And they said, yeah. And I said, and the price on the tag is the sale price, which they were like $169. And she says, no, it's 30% off the price in the box.
So I wonder which one of them is right.
So I don't know, but like I'm going back to that person if I want to buy a lightsaber. Like, if you want a Princess Leia lightsaber, we're getting it from that guy. Because I'm like, man, it's kind of nuts.
Yeah. Okay, and the very last thing at Disney is actually Tokyo Disney, where we will be going.
Yes.
A little bit after this happens, or starts rather, but we've got details of Tokyo Disney's 40th anniversary. And it's basically that cast members will be getting new badges and little pennants that they'll be wearing underneath their name badges.
Mm-hmm.
They're doing a show called Harmony of Color.
Oh.
And they have festive treats. Although I was talking about how the Asian parks have all the really cute food.
Not so much
not
here?
Not here.
Oh.
And I've seen lots of cute food that comes out of Disneyland, Tokyo, and out of Disney Sea, and this is not it. And it is sad that you can't enlarge these pictures so you can actually see what's here.
Yeah.
So we have a reservation at Disneyland on January 31st. Guess what's closing early that day?
Yes, but we're going with a toddler.
That's true. But it closes at 8 o'clock because of a Disney After Dark event.
Yeah.
Boo.
Okay, moving on to trailers.
Yep.
Netflix, coming to Netflix sometime soon, is the sixth and final season of Cobra Kai.
Yeah.
And I have to say, I'm ready for it to be the final season. I'm kind of over it.
Well, we haven't watched like the latest season. I mean,
oh,
like,
really?
Yeah,
Oh.
we might even be 2 seasons behind for all I know, because we might have not seen season 4 and 5.
And yet, I didn't see anything in the trailer that I didn't think I had already seen.
Yeah, I definitely did. I'll take a look and see what season we were last watching.
Coming to Netflix on February 22nd, which was last week, The Strays. And I can't remember what this is about. Just watched the trailer about 2 hours ago. All I remember is that I didn't like it and said to myself, I'm not going to watch this.
It's about a woman living in a house in a neighborhood that's very sort of Stepford, and then other people start showing up and uproot her life, and it's like she's hiding from something. We don't know what. She's got a whole collection of wigs that she wears. We don't know why. And she seems to be seeing people attacking her that nobody else is.
Yeah.
It's very
All sounds
complicated.
familiar.
And yeah, it's kind of really, really bizarre.
Yeah.
Lisa said about the lightsabers being on sale, wake me up when the Qui-Gon ones get marked down.
Yeah, right. The Qui-Gon one's really neat, although it's it takes rechargeable batteries, so you have to charge it through a USB port as opposed to being able to just throw AAAs in it. So I'm kind of interested to see if that lasts any longer or shorter than any of the other lightsabers. Not enough to buy it and test it, but yeah, it's not on sale yet. But they had Darth Sidious on sale. They had a couple of the lesser Jedis on sale. Leia's was on sale. A couple others. So this is kind of interesting. And just to clarify for Cobra Kai, we have seen through the end of season 4. We have not seen season 5.
Whoops.
So.
Well, maybe we'll wait till season 6 comes out and then watch them all at once.
Do you think you can handle that? Because that's going to be a lot of Cobra Kai.
I don't know.
Oh man.
I'm kind of over it. So.
I know, right? That's
Coming to Apple TV Plus on February 24th, which was 2 days ago, The Reluctant Traveler with Eugene Levy. And it was funny because I didn't take note of the title consciously. And as I'm watching Eugene Levy being out of his comfort zone, I thought to myself, they should call this The Reluctant Traveler.
That's pretty funny.
So I must have seen it and just, had
Filed
it as
it
part
away.
of my subconscious.
Yeah.
But
Eugene Levy is very good at looking uncomfortable, And so basically, they keep putting him in situations where he kind of doesn't want to be. He identifies himself as an indoor kind of guy, and he specifically wanted to do the show because it puts him outdoors. It looks kind of fun. I would love to have that job. Just like go do these crazy things that you're like, meh.
Hi to Michael Wine. He just popped in to say
Michael
hello.
Wine.
There he is.
We participated in a show kind of like this. You and I did, Colleen, with a guy who came from, how did he come from? Sweden, I think. And he stayed in the area. We took him to a science fiction convention.
I didn't participate with this, just you.
No, you did.
Did
because you guys put him in a costume, and we put him in the cabaret at LostCon, and we put him on stage. You made a mummy costume for him. And suited the guy up.
Huh.
Yeah, it was fascinating. But the show was called Try Before You Die. And he wanted to find out what it was like to be a science fiction fan. And he came to California to do it. I don't remember how he got hooked up with me. But the other kind of stuff that he was doing was like skydiving or taking heroin.
The taking heroin thing had us all kind of freaked out.
Right.
That's a really bad idea.
I think there was like a porn industry episode too.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a fascinating thing. And they had a number of hosts, and so we had one of those. It's from the Netherlands, maybe.
Oh, wow.
Coming to Netflix on April 24th, which was 2 days ago,
Mm-hmm.
we have a Ghost starring Anthony Mackie, Jennifer Coolidge, and Tig Notaro. This looks really funny. I'm going to watch this.
Yeah.
Basically, there's a family moves into a haunted house, and instead of it being a horror movie and the family getting terrorized by the ghosts, the kids in the family start laughing at the ghost who is being ridiculous in trying to scare them.
And did you recognize the ghost? It was David Harbour.
David Harbour.
Oh, yes.
From Stranger Things.
I forgot.
Yeah.
Yes, I did recognize the ghost.
Yeah.
This looks really funny, so I recommend people watch it.
And the thing, I think it's a movie and not a series, but it looks kind of cute, and I'm in.
Coming to theaters on March 31st, Dungeons & Dragons: Honor Among Thieves stars Chris Pine, Michelle Rodriguez, Regé-Jean Page, and Hugh Grant. This looks fun, but I don't know if it's fun enough to drag me out to a theater.
It's dopey fun. The thing that I want to know is, so like right now, people are really mad at Dungeons & Dragons. This is like the worst timing, because the open gaming license that Hasbro and Wizards of the Coast had is being rescinded. People are getting really mad. And it's like, it's in the news for all the wrong reasons. And so like they couldn't have picked a worse time to release this, because all the goodwill that D&D has is kind of getting withered away. Although that said, there's the guys from Critical Role, I guess, just signed an exclusive deal with Amazon to do more role-playing related stuff. So, somebody thinks it's still worthwhile. But yeah, this didn't really, spark me. I mean, I'll see it, I guess, but I don't know that I need to see it in a theater.
Yeah.
Okay, coming to Prime, late 2023 is Invincible Season 2 teaser.
Yeah.
If I have that in everyone's
scene,
head
really.
now. This is an animated thing that I didn't see season 1 of it, but it looks pretty amusing.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
good.
It's
Violent, but good.
Yeah.
Oh, is it violent? I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, and it's
Cartoon,
full of people we like. So J.K. Simmons is in it, Mark Hamill,
Yep.
Seth Rogen, Zachary Quinto, all sorts of folks.
Yeah.
The teaser was kind of fun because it had 2 of the characters, and one of them had apparently been spending the hiatus making the next season of the animated feature or animated
The show itself, yeah.
series, and the other the other animated character didn't actually know what animation was or what any of the things that the other guy was saying were. But it was funny.
Because he's like from another planet. Yeah. It was the Mark Grayson, Stephen Yoon character. Sandra Oh is in it. Really, really kind of interesting cast. I'm tempted to watch it. Clancy Brown, except I don't know that. The violence may or may not get Colleen.
Yeah.
Jonathan Groff is in it.
Oh yeah.
And
Sean, you want to take the next brief section?
sure. And thank goodness it's brief. I'm like, yay.
Yay.
It's brief.
Yeah, jeez.
At the age of 62, we lost Lance Kerwin. If you remember the 1970s version of Salem's Lot with David Soul, actually really good version of Stephen King's book with a weird nod to Nosferatu in their vampire, which is kind of interesting. And also he was in James at 15, and then subsequently I think it was James at 16.
Yeah, that's where I remember him from.
And he was a pretty huge star for his time as a kid star. He was in The Boy Who Drank Too Much, and he did like a lot of guest star stuff in Happy Days and stuff like that. And then I don't think his career went really gangbusters kind of after that. But he was one of those Tiger Beat guys. He was like a huge heartthrob for teenage girls at the time. So
all right, Jeff, want to start the speed round? We have time for one or maybe two each.
okay, go Jeff.
So Jeff's gonna pause
Okay.
because there's plenty of time.
Jeff
There
has
we
gone.
go. Sorry about that.
He went silent, which was the
Yeah,
problem.
stupid microphone. Okay, so everyone seems to be mad at, or at least a certain number of people are mad at James Gunn for Doom Patrol and Titans getting canceled, and he didn't do it. It was something that actually was already in process before he became in charge. Before he was put in charge with the partner.
No,
So,
interesting.
I want to talk about a Knives Out Benoit Blanc crossover with the Muppets. It's been talked about a lot on the internet since the Glass Onion came out, and even before that, probably since what was the name of the original one?
Knives Out?
Knives Out, sorry. It's right there in the title. And so somebody recently posted some fan art where they've got Benoit Blanc and the Muppets. And then the Nerdist took that and ran with it and did an ad for a Benoit Blanc mystery Knives Out and the Muppets mashup.
Nice.
And so they basically took the Muppets Take Manhattan and cut it together with some of the scenes from Benoit Blanc pieces. And
Daniel Craig, yeah.
yeah, well, they're all either from Glass Onion or from Knives Out.
Yeah.
Makes
It's
sense.
not just like
Cute.
random
Right.
Daniel Craig things.
That's so
It's
cute.
definitely got Muppets Take Manhattan and probably some other Muppets movie pieces in it. Take a look at it. If you're a Muppets fan, you'll really enjoy it.
Yeah,
Cool.
that's pretty good.
Sean?
I was watching it as you were talking. And
Oh, cool.
Oh, nice.
pretty funny. Yeah.
I'm going to mash two of them up here for a second. Maya Rudolph is now taking over for the M&M's Spokes Candies. The Spokes Candies have been in the news for a while because they've been sort of desexing them, where, for a while some of the female ones were getting particularly sexy in their ads and stuff. And this has been a topic of news shows that should have better things to talk about than this for a while. And so Maya Rudolph's taken over. The spokes candies are gonna go dormant for a while. And to get ahead of the game, A&W Root Beer is going to take care of their spokes character, because basically Rudy the Great Root Bear has been Porky Pigging it around with no pants. Yeah. And so he says, it says here on Twitter, America, let's talk. Since 1963, Rudy the Great Root Beer has been our beloved spokesbear. We knew people would notice because he's literally a 6-foot-tall bear wearing an orange sweater. But we get it. Even a mascot's lack of pants can be polarizing. Therefore, we've decided that Rudy will wear jeans going forward. Not to worry, though. He will remain our official spokesbear. After all, he is unbearably cute and impossible to replace. We are confident Rudy will continue to champion good food and good times for many years to come. Now, in denim.
So the big thing about the M&M spokes candy, was it what the girl M&Ms were wearing? Was that what the problem was?
Yes, but it was a problem because one of the Fox newscasters had a meltdown over it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but M&Ms don't melt in your hands.
Right. But apparently they do if you're whatever that dude's name was. I can't remember. He's the problem.
But Tucker?
Yeah, he's Tucker Carlson. He's the problem over there anyway. And basically, M&M's just fell victim to the sensationalist nature of Fox News. They didn't have anything to talk about, so he went on a rage about M&M spokes candies.
Ugh, ridiculous.
So, dude, if the dude's getting turned on by candy spokespeople that are computer generated, he's got much bigger problems to deal with.
He has
my
issues.
goodness.
Jeff, what do you want to talk about?
I want to talk about Jeremy Renner. He is back home, and he broke 30 bones of that snowplow accident.
Ugh,
but he's at home
God.
resting up and recuperating.
Well, he really feels like he's a superhero.
Well, I hope they can get him back to fighting shape, because so the thing that we don't know is like what all the bones are that he broke.
Yeah.
Your foot contains a lot of bones.
Yeah, his leg got badly damaged, and his chest and everything. Yeah, several places we don't.
And is it is it 30 breaks on 15 bones? It's there's a lot of information we don't have, but gosh, I hope he manages to pull through.
Yeah. Okay, I want to mention that movies coming out this week include Friday, Shotgun Wedding, which we talked about before, is on Amazon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And next Wednesday, Black Panther Wakanda Forever is coming to Disney+.
Yay!
All right. I want to make a little shout out here. I don't know that he's listening. Sometimes he does. And I just recently saw him at the 501st Rebel Legion bowling night. He came out and hung out with us. Matthew Tillard, who goes back to the Orange County Star Wars Society. He just recently lost his mother. And I just wanted to offer our condolences for that. Yeah. It's definitely sad news. She passed away on the 19th. And it just came through my Facebook feed this afternoon, and just wanted to say that, we're sorry for your sad news and for your loss. Because, we just hung out with him he sang Danger Zone at the karaoke, which was great.
The bowling thing, yeah.
But anyway, that was sad. So if you are watching us on YouTube or Facebook or Twitch or whatever, thank you so much for doing so. If there is a way to like or subscribe or do any of that kind of thing, go for it. We are very low pressure. Don't generally care. But we do like to know that you were there, and that's how we know that you were there. If you are listening to us on sci-fi.radio, thank you. We've got all sorts of stuff here 24/7. It is sci-fi.radio. That's the URL where you can go to listen to the show, listen to the station, and listen and read news stories that are relevant to your interests, like the Oscars, which just had their Oscar nominations. All sorts of really great people in science fiction and fantasy. Everything, Everywhere, All at Once got 11 nominations. It's amazing for a film like that. So we'll talk more about that next week, I think.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'll be on the air tomorrow at 9 a.m. for Good Morning Tatooine. We will play out the week. And then, of course, we'll be back again next Thursday.
I'm Colleen Kaylee Crosby.
This is Jeff Donoho.
I'm Sean Obi-Shawn Crosby. As always,
May the Force be with you.
Give you guys some credits.
Rest and recuperate there, Rob.
Yeah, Rob Yanagihara. Poor guy, man. It's been a crud week, I gotta tell you. We've got a whole bunch of people that we're thinking of. All right, you guys on the video, we will see you next week.